Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for Saturday with Stacey, YouTube number 210. Now I just got finished doing the warehouse sale terms and conditions YouTube, and that's going to be posted in the next day or so. It's also going to be on our main page of our website, and it will be in the warehouse sale category so that you can see it and view it and then decide if you want to make a purchase or not during our huge warehouse sale. I can tell you just quickly that we have changed several things this year, and that's all addressed in there, and I'm excited for the changes. I really am. I think it's going to be, I think this is going to be a better year. I hope it's a better year. I know you hope it's a better year. So maybe if we all hope together, it will come to fruition. Now, I also forgot to mention why we were the shop that didn't hop in that YouTube. So I don't know if you know or not, but it happened years and years ago, and it's water under the bridge now, but we were just unable. It's a long story, and I don't even know what YouTube I addressed it on, but it was a long story. Just know that there still is the Southern California Shop Hop, and there's about 10 stores participating. And if you're in California, there is still time to get a Shop Hop passport to go see those stores. These are mom and pop stores who are putting together a wonderful event for you. They are doing their best to keep their doors open and offer a mom and pop place for you to go when you need your crafting supplies other than some of the larger box stores. So even though we're not a participant in the Southern California Shop Hop, that we had to become the shop that did not hop, we still want you to go shop with them. We still want you to take advantage of the sales that they're offering and go visit them and meet them and introduce yourself to them. You might find that you make a whole new crowd of friends. And then, of course, while you're hopping around to all those other stores, if you happen to stop by Scrapbooking Made Simple, that would be awesome too. So, watch the video on the terms and conditions of the warehouse sale. I've got new information for you, different information. But for today, I am releasing my next collection of Simply Defined way early. Why are you releasing it so early, Stacey? You're killing me. I'm releasing it early so that it doesn't fall under the shop that didn't hop shipping time frame. I'm releasing it early so that you can order it now and it doesn't fall under it ships when it ships. That's why we're releasing it early. At the same time, we'll be taking down all of my product, all of my Simply Defined and Simply Refined product during the Shop That Didn't Hop sale. That way you don't accidentally order a Simply Refined die and find that you're waiting months and months and months to get it because it fell during that sale. So for those 17 days, I think it's 17 days, from July 21st through August 6th, all Simply Defined and Simply Refined dies and products will be pulled down from the site, and then they'll come right back up, right back up after the event is over with, because I felt so horrible. One person, one lady, one darling customer, truly darling customer, placed an order during the Shop That Didn't Hop last year for one pair of fussy tweezers. That's all she ordered was fussy tweezers. We don't have a way to separate out orders like that from the masses of the other orders. We just don't have the way to do that. And when I saw her order, I just felt terrible. So the best way for me to remedy that is to take the stuff down. And then if you need fussy tweezers, either order them by July 20th or wait till August 7th. Was it fussy tweezers or fussy scissors? It was one item, and it was in the masses of the orders, and there's just no way for us. Our systems aren't sophisticated enough for us to separate out orders like that. So anyway, that's why I'm releasing this release, the July release, weeks early. And the July release is called Nana's Garden. So before I get started, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and it has nothing to do with Nana or a garden. Nothing at all. I bet you all were thinking, oh, she's going to tell a sweet story about her Nana and a garden. Nope. Okay. I cracked myself up. All right, so the story I have to tell you, and if you don't want to listen, that's what the fast forward button's for. Go ahead. I have no clue you're doing it, so you don't hurt my feelings, not even a little bit. Unless I look at analytics, and then I can possibly see, but I don't even look at analytics anymore. I don't even look because YouTube thinks I should shorten my videos, but they are what they are. Nah. Okay, so the story I'm going to tell you has to do with how I came about this collection. When I opened my retail store almost 13 years ago, I don't think I had been open for more than a week. A week at the most. And in comes this lady. And she walks in and she's looking around and she's, do you sell the big shot? Why, yes, we do sell the big shot. And you sell dies? Well, yes, look at our walls. We sell dies. Do you sell Pergamano? Perga who? Do you do Pergamano? I said, no, but we could. I had no idea what she was talking about. Well, this person turned out to be Linda, who became one of our teachers. And she became and is a fixture here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. She is a dear friend, and she has introduced me to more in the world of crafting than I could ever possibly even try to explain. And I owe her a world of debt for all of the knowledge that she has taught me. And Pergamano was one of the things she taught me. So Linda started teaching Pergamano classes. What is Pergamano? It is this technique of using vellum and piercers and patterns and a white pin and making these beautiful, beautiful, elaborate images for your cards or your layouts or your scrapbooks. They're absolutely gorgeous. They usually have patterns, and you follow the patterns, and you have different kinds of piercers that have maybe 4 prongs or 3 prongs or 2 prongs, and the pattern will tell you, and you're piercing into that vellum, making this elaborate, beautiful lace-like. It really does look like lace when you're done. But OMG, does it take forever to do. You must have patience to do Pergamano. And the funny thing is, this was so many years ago, and now Pergamano has come back. Parchment, they call it something parchment, but it is Pergamano. You're taking vellum and you're making these beautiful designs and lacy elements out of just nothing with a bunch of different tools and a white pen. So I always wanted to do Pergamano, but I knew I was not the girl for it. I am not that patient of a person. So when it came time to start designing my dies, I always thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a die collection that gave you the look of Pergamano without actually having to do all that work? But I didn't know how to make it happen. And it took almost 2 years, because this is it's 2 years to almost to the date that I released my very first Simply Defined collection. And so it took almost 2 years for me to figure it out, how to design something that will give you a look of Pergamano without you having to do all the work. Now, I bet all of you are going to Google Pergamano. They're going to, Google is going to see this spike in Pergamano and put it on what's trending. That would be really funny. So I have got a set of dies for you. That we've got the I Want It All bundle, the 6 sets. I have got a beautiful set of contour edge dies. And then this month is a must-haves month, and this month it is squares. So I really have to thank Linda for kind of inspiring where I went with this, because if it wasn't for her walking into my store all those many years ago, and I'm going to tell you, we've been through some ups and downs together, and she is a treasured friend. So I'm going to get started for today. The collection is called Nana's Garden. It will only be available this week, and then if it's not sold out, it will disappear, but it will come back. It will come back after the event. That way you're not waiting months and months for a single die from Nana's Garden. We don't want that to happen. All right, I'm gonna put on my glasses. Oh, I've got winter chicken dinner to talk about. Holy smokes. Okay, super quick. Winter chicken dinner from the Ultimate Crafts bundle. Holy smokes artichokes. These sold out like that. If you are Cecilia Zimmerman, congratulations, Cecilia Zimmerman. You are going to win one of those Ultimate Craft bundles. Congratulations, Wahoo Kachoo for you. Woohoo! Next, our other winner is Nancy Waterfall. Okay, Nancy Waterfall, you are also a winner chicken dinner, and you have won one of the Ultimate Crafts bundles. Congratulations to you. You and Cecilia. Holy smokes artichokes, you're going to love, love, love that bundle. Now, how do you claim your prize? Go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com, find the link that says winner chicken dinner, click it, follow the directions, send us the email with all the information, and you have 30 days to do that. After 30 days, then your prize goes into the anniversary sale prize bonanza. Dale, who generally ships out all the prizes, has been out and will be out for a little bit longer. So Kayla's doing her best to fill on in and get things out to you. But hang tight, you will find it in your mailbox just as soon as we can. So Nancy Waterfall and Cecilia Zimmerman, congratulations to you girls. You're gonna love it. You really, really are. All right, I'm gonna put that over there. I'm gonna tilt on down. We're gonna get started for today. This is the July collection of Simply Defined Nana's Garden, and it is our 2-year anniversary of Simply Defined. Down we go. How's that? How about I zoom in? Oh, no, wrong. I know, I'm terrible. Wrong. I'm just the worst at this, I agree. All right, I think I'm good. All right, so downstairs, this is the make and take that we're doing right now. So if you are anywhere in Southern California, come hang with me and you can do this make and take too. This is one of the dies from Nana's Garden, and I love her. We did her in the blue. We did her in the purple. And we did her in the coral pinky. And our customers have a choice. They can do any of the colors that they want. And we are going to be die cutting and embossing. And I'm going to start with that. I'm going to move my craft mat up just a little bit. I'm going to start with that, but then I'm going to move on to something a little more intricate because I want to show you the easiest way to use these dies. And then I want to show you the Pergamano way to use these dies. So I'm going to open up my die, and we've got Lady in Lace is her name. You can see that it has got the main die here that cuts her out. We used that die to do this card. But then we also gave you a frame die just in case you wanted to back her with something. And then 4 flowers that you can use to embellish her should you want to. So I'm going to start with my main die. Put that over there so I don't lose it. And this is a wafer style die. It's so wafer thin, that's how it got its name. Somebody asked on YouTube, what's the difference between a chemically etched die and a wafer die? Nothing. They are exactly the same. Most manufacturers, when they're manufacturing the die, consider them a CED, chemically etched die. But when they go to sell them, they call them a wafer die because CED just sounds not very woohooey. So if you hear somebody refer to a die as a CED or chemically etched die, it is exactly the same as a wafer die. They are the exact same product. Now I'm going to do something fast and simple with her because I want to start off really, really simple and then get a little bit more advanced, but I don't want to assume that everybody has seen this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to die cut her. Now I'm using a piece of coordinations paper. That means it's a color core paper. That means I can sand this paper because it's a different color on the inside. So this paper started as this pink, and then they printed this darker pink on the top and they printed this darker pink on the bottom, concealing it until You sand it or you tear it. And just for people who are not familiar, when you tear paper, you tear it towards you. If you want that really pretty edge, that torn edge, you tear the paper towards you, and that will give you that edge. If you tear the paper away from you, it does nothing for you. So remember, if you're ever going to tear paper, tear it towards you. When you're looking at it, just tear it facing you towards you, and then you will end up with a lovely edge. And Coordinations paper makes a beautiful torn edge. All right, I'm going to bring over my Big Shot machine. And I am working with my standard multi-purpose platform. This is not sold with the machines. This was brought back at our begging and insistence and pleading, and I think I might have shed some tears at one time over it. But the platform that comes with the machines now is an extended multi-purpose platform. Don't worry about it. If you've got the longer one, you're still going to be able to do exactly everything I do today. It's just on a longer platform. If you do have the budget to get the small one, I recommend it. It's really great to have. If you need to hint to somebody that you want it for a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, this is a great item for them to pick up. And we sell them. Many retail stores sell them. I would think even Michael's and some of the box stores sell them. They're $29.99, and it's a wonderful item to have. It's not a necessity. This is a want, not a need. The machine is a need. This is a want. All right, so I'm gonna put my multi-purpose platform down completely closed. That means I don't have any of these tabs are open. They're completely closed. I'm going to use what's called a precision base plate. This is a metal plate made by Sizzix. It will only work in Sizzix branded machines. And so if you have a Cuttlebug, I'm ever so sorry you can't use this, but you would use whatever plates come with your Cuttlebug machine. This is for intricate dies, and it allows intricate dies to cut better. If you have a very intricate die and it only cuts some of it and you're frustrated with it and you put it away, but you spent $30 on it, which really kind of makes you a little annoyed, get a precision base plate. All of a sudden that die will cut out like butter. What you need to know is that the directions are not what you want to see when you're die cutting. Here's the directions on how to use the precision base plate. You don't want to see that when you're die cutting. It needs to be face down. You need to see that metal right there, because that's what's going to allow your die to grip right in and cut right through. The precision base plate acts as a clear plate, as your bottom clear plate. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to take my die, and then I'm going to cover it up. When you're using a precision base plate, use a yucky platform, because it's going to emboss. The pressure in it is so tight that it is going to emboss your plate. So while it may not cut into your plate, it will leave an imprint. So if you've got old yucky plates, those are the best ones to use with your precision base plate. I'm going to put her in. I'm going to roll her through. And then, because she can be a little more intricate, I'm just going to rotate my paper and send it on back. Why do I rotate my paper? Well, because if the die doesn't cut the first time going through, it's hitting the rollers in the exact same way. Front, back, still hitting it in the exact same way. Every die machine has what's called a sweet spot, and you never know where your sweet spot is. So if it's not cutting, rotate your die, send it back, and that die will hit those wheels in a brand new, or that roller in a brand new way, and chances are you're going to get a much better cut. Now, this is where I'm at. I've got my die. She's all cut out, ready to go, but I want to emboss her. So I'm going to need to use what we so fondly call a squishy and a knock-knock. Why do we call it a squishy and a knock-knock? Well, because at one point they were both black and you couldn't tell them apart. So I could show you this one's a squishy and this one's a Knock, knock. Now, again, after much persistent begging and a little whining, and again, possibly a few shed tears, Sizzix was kind enough to change the colors of them. The squishy is now a gray and the knock knock is now a white. So you can easily tell them apart when they're on your table. I'm going to take my die off my precision base plate because I'm not going to need it anymore. And I'm going to move that off to the side. I'm going to take my multi-purpose platform, whether it be large or small. I'm going to open it to tab 1. Tab 1. This is where it shows you how to emboss a die. And it's got directions right there for you. But who reads the directions, right? I know, I'm the same. So I am going to take, well, I'm going to set this down for a minute because the next thing I have to show you is uber super exciting. I'm going to take my new Do Not Cut plate. I wonder if I have a piece of white paper. I'm going to take my new Do Not Cut plate and use it. I don't know if you can see, but this is red glitter. My new cut plate from Sizzix is ruby red glitter cut plates. Maybe then I can get some of the glitter showing. Ruby red glitter cut plates. Yes, I know, crazy, right? So there they are. They're beautiful. Maybe I needed black paper to put it behind. They're absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I can see me. They're absolutely gorgeous. They are new and they are only at Scrapbooking Made Simple forever. You'll never find the ruby red glitter cut plaids anywhere else but Scrapbooking Made Simple. That's it. And we will have them on an everyday low price of, I think, $9.59, and that gets you both plates. It gets you 2. So I had to have, because I'm going to be the Wicked Witch of the West for the shop that didn't hop in the warehouse sale, I had to have glitter cutting pads. And one of our core colors is red, and Dorothy's shoes were glitter ruby red, so I had to have them, and I can't even begin to tell you how many months it took, how many different colors and shades of red glitter there is, and how many different, how chunky the glitter is. It was just incredible finally getting these here. I must have 10 or 12 different samples trying to get them here, but they're here now, and of course we're selling them. We sell them at our everyday low price. I think Sizzix retails their glitter cutting pads. They have gold and they have purple. They retail them for $11.99. Ours is an everyday low price of $9.59. So back to my lady in lace. I'm going to bring over my multi-purpose platform. Remember, I cut her on the top with the precision base plate, but then I opened up my multi-purpose platform. I'm going to bring my machine back over. I'm going to put down what is my new Do Not Cut plate. I'm very excited. What's a Do Not Cut plate? It's a plate that you never cut into, because then it stays flat. It doesn't warp. It gives you a beautiful foundation to slide everything through on. I'm going to bring back my die with her still in it. I'm going to take my squishy right over the top, and then my knock knock. Squishy and knock knocks are 2 peas in a pod. We only sell them as a unit because you need one to use the other. And they're very inexpensive. They're $6.99 each. So for under $14, you're able to then start embossing all of your dies. I'm going to send this on through. And what's going to happen is my squishy, that gray piece, is going to start coming out the back end. It's growing, it's growing, it's growing. Can you see? It's growing. It's now right there. And it's growing and it's growing. Now it's all the way out to there. What's happening is when it's going underneath the roller, that squishy pad is compressing into the die and the paper, forcing and embossing. It's forcing the embossing. So that squishy is pushing down into that paper, into those negative spaces, making an embossing. It only takes once. You don't have to go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Oh, I moved her. Oh, she's okay. She survived. All right, let me move this out of my way for a moment. And what I have now is a beautifully embossed die. But remember I showed you that this paper was kind of special paper. And when I sand it, I'm sanding off the top feature, the top layer of that printed paper, exposing what's underneath, which is that softer color. And I'm using a Sand-It gadget. We do recommend a Sand-It gadget. Sand-It gadget is made by Coordinations, the same people who make the paper. So it is meant to go with their paper. It's not too harsh on paper, and it's not too fine on paper. The grit isn't. If your grit is too hard, you're gonna tear your paper, and if it's too fine, well, you might be sanding for a very long time. Her little necklace is so cute. Little shoulders, her little cap sleeves, so cute. Then I've got my glitter cleanup cloth, and I just pick up all of the sanding that comes off. And there she is. Didn't finish her little hat, but there she is. That's the easiest way to use these dies if you just want to do an embossing feature and then sand it. Very, very, very simple. But remember, I said she has the dress. Let's see, do I have a piece of paper? I wonder what this would look like. I don't know. Do I think I like it? Oh, I don't know that I don't like it, so let's try it. I guess that's a good enough reason. I don't know that I don't like it. So I'm gonna bring my machine right back over. I don't need my squishy. I don't need my knock knock. I'm doing a wafer die. So I'm gonna close my platform up completely. I'm gonna put my lovely ruby red cut plate down. It makes my heart so happy. I'm going to put my die facing me, because I don't need a magnetic platform for this. I don't need a magnetic platform. I'm just cutting out an open, what's called an open frame die. You see there's nothing in the middle of it. It's just a frame die. So I don't need my precision base plate. I don't need my magnetic platform. I'm gonna throw my paper, the pretty side face down, or the side you wanna see, and then my cut plate. See, so my do not cut plate is all the way down at the bottom, and it's gonna not bend or warp, and it's gonna allow my die to just roll through easy peasy. Now, if you do accidentally cut into your do not cut plate, don't worry, I've done it, I do it. It happens. The idea is just not to get it to look like this. Couple cuts in it, no worries, you're fine. Actually, I'm going to slide those right in, and let's grab her. Oh, yes. Oh, she's so cute, if I do say so myself. All right, I'm going to grab a little Stacey tape. I'll just put a little Stacey tape on her so we can stick her on down. We've got a couple little cuts that we've given you so you can 3D out the flowers. Put a little Stacey tape right there. What is Stacey tape? It's double-sided adhesive. And today I'm going to show you a really good reason to have Stacey tape. When we do something a little bit later, I've got a little bit on her hat. I'm going to pull it off, expose my sticky, pull off my liner, expose my sticky, and then lay her right down and position her where I want her. She's A little high. Oh, isn't she so cute? I do love her. I wanted her for so long. I'm so glad she's here and she's done. She's just darling. She's Lady in Lace from Nana's Garden, and she's one of my favorites. I love her. And then of course we have the little flowers that come with the set as well. Wait till you see what Elena did with them. We have the little flowers because I had room. Elena made the most beautiful bouquet right here, right where it was just beautiful. I'll show it to you a little bit later. So one of the easiest ways to make your dies look fabulous is to use them with an embossing feature. Not every die has an embossing feature, but Nana's Garden, that's what it's based around, the embossing feature, because I wanted it to look like Pergamano. But I can already hear you. Stacey, this doesn't look anything like Pergamano, because by now you've Googled it. I know, but wait, we're gonna get there. So I think I'm gonna use this one. So I've got another die. That's what it looks like. Again, part of Nana's Garden. It is Tulip Terrace. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 dies in the set. So just like my Lady in Lace, it has a main die that cuts all the way out, but then it also has a frame die to go around it just in case you want to do a background for it. And then because I had space here, I gave you 2 cute little scallopy ovals to fill in if you wanted. But right now, we're going to use it with something a little bit different than what you might be used to. I'm going to pull out a sheet of vellum. But this isn't any ordinary vellum. This is Pergamano vellum, and it's very, very thick. It's, gosh, is it 140 grams? It's 150 gram, which I don't know if that equates to about 90 pounds. It is not the easiest thing to find. Yes, we have it, and yes, you can order it. It's not very expensive, but it is important to do Pergamano with. This is the paper that they use. And what they'll do is they'll get a pattern and they'll draw the pattern on, and then they will take those piercers like I had told you, and they'll start piercing it. And as they're piercing it, they're able to perforate pieces off, and it just looks beautiful, just like lace. Then they use a little stylus and they get in there and they add detail. Well, I wanted it to look just like that too, only I didn't want to do all that work. I just don't have it in me. So I'm going to bring my paper, my platform and my Big Shot machine back over. This is an intricate die, and it will require a precision base plate. Don't read the directions. If I can sit here and read the directions, I'm doing it wrong. You need the metal facing you. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to have these dies. Now, this has a straight line across. The die is a rectangle. It has a straight line across. If you send it through just like that with that straight line across, when you get close to the wheel, you're gonna hear this thump, and you're gonna, it's okay, it's all right, keep going, you haven't done anything wrong, but that wheel is trying to hit that straight line all at the same time, the roller that's in the machine. If you want to avoid the thump, just pivot your die a little bit. Put it on an angle. That way the wheel will take this corner and then work its way down, and you will not hear that big thump. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my yucky plate because I'm using my precision base plate. I don't want to use my beautiful new glitter, ruby red glitter. I don't even know if you can see it, but I almost don't care. They're just so pretty. I just want to pet them. I really do. Okay. I know some of you feel that way about paper. I understand you. You are my people. I'm gonna roll it on through. See, no big thump. A few little creaks and cracks, but that's okay. And then I'm going to rotate it and send it back. And this is what I've got. I've got that little center that has cut out. And I have got my die in vellum cut out. This is where the Pergamano part comes in. I am going to take a stylus. Now we have the Fisker stylus, and we have, I believe it's the Multi-Craft stylus. Both of these are going to be on our website for sale. They're both right around the same price. They're $2.50 or $2.99. Doesn't matter which one you go with. Both of them have a small tip and both of them have a larger tip. So I just couldn't get enough of one, and so I bought them both because they both are going to do exactly the same thing. You're then going to take your stylus, and while your vellum is still in your die, you're going to grab your gush mat. The mat that you use, or if you have the Doris, whatever you use, the mat that you use to do your stamping on. This is going to act as your little gush in there so that you can take your stylus, and where there's open space, where you can see the red gush mat coming through, where you can see the color coming through, and there's no cut lines, you can go in there and take your stylus and just kind of rub it on in there. Now you don't want to go too fast. I'm going fast because I don't think you want to be here for that long of a time. And you just go in, and where there's that empty space and it didn't die cut out, you can fill in. And you're actually taking that vellum, and by putting the pressure on it, you're changing the color of it. You're making it white. And this is what you do in Pergamano. This is one of the steps that you do in Pergamano. I just didn't want to have to do all the other work, but I love the look. When Linda first showed me what Pergamano was, it was breathtaking. And while there's nothing to compare with spending hours and hours and sometimes days on a piece of Pergamano, this is a good substitution for those of us who just don't have the time or the ability to go in there and devote that. But you can sit in front of your TV and just take a stylus tool, and you may already own a stylus tool, and do this. And you don't want to press down so hard that you pop through your vellum. You just want to give it a nice coloring, and you will actually see the paper changing to white. You can physically see that. So I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm going to finish this last little one. And again, I would recommend going perhaps a little bit slower than me. But it really is oh so pretty. I got it all done. Yay. Now my pieces are falling out now that I've... So you can see where I've started to add the embossing element versus where I haven't. I haven't gotten all the... Now you could send this through on your coordinations paper and do the embossing that way and then sand it, and all of the embossing would come up, but I wanted it on vellum. Oh, I tore it. Aw, when I tipped it. I wanted it on vellum. So I could put it back in there. Gosh darn it, Stacey. I could put it back in there. Line it back up and just continue to color. Well, I guess to use my stylus, it's kind of like coloring. And if you get really good with your styling, you can actually do like heavier lines down below and lighter lines up and top, and you get shading and shadowing all with a stylus. It's amazing, and it's so very pretty. It just looks like lace when you're done. So I'm going to work my way down just a little bit on this one. And having the two stylus ends, having the small and the large, is helpful because when you have to get into a space that's tight, you just use that small end. And when you've got a space that's a little bit bigger for you to fill in, you can use the larger. So I like the stylus that has the two sides. Or I like the stylus that has one side and a pokey too. All right, so let me just do this last one and then I'll take it off again and you can get a better idea. And I'm just taking the ball of the stylus, that's all it is. It's a little ball at the tip. And I'm just adding a little bit of pressure. And because I'm on this gush mat, it's the vellum sinks down and the little ball to my stylus makes a really good contact, and I just kind of put a little pressure and you see it change. So now you can see even more how it's working its way down. They're so lovely. And it gives you that Pergamano look without doing Pergamano. And then of course, well, I can cut this. I don't have to freehand it today. Why? Because I have the die that fits around it exactly. So I'm gonna move this right out of my way. I'm gonna bring over my machine. I don't need my precision base plate because I'm using an open frame die. There's nothing in there. There's nothing to hold that die from warping if you were to use it with your precision base plate. I'm gonna bring my Do Not Cut ruby red glitter cutting pads exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple for how long? Ever. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta do it face up or else I'm gonna cut right into it. I'm gonna roll it through. It's just a one roll, doesn't need anything more than that. Move my machine out of my way. And I can't believe I tore it. Darn it. But that happens. And now I've backed it onto something. Is that not so lovely? That just makes my heart happy. Truly does. What if I did it on a piece of patterned paper? I wonder what that would look like. So when I grabbed my pattern paper, somebody was asking, I literally just go into my stash and see what I have. So it's hard for me to tell you what papers I'm using. This one happens to be Pretty Posy by Trimcraft. I just grab whatever's been opened and use it. Oh yeah, you could put that on there and that on there. You definitely have options. You definitely can play. Absolutely beautiful. I could have used the pink paper. Oh, if I used the pink paper and put this on pink and then put it on there. But using the stylus while the die cut is still in the die, and using heavy weight vellum, you need it to be at least 90 pounds. That's important. And if it falls out, don't worry. If it falls out, you just place it back. You can lay it right back in. You can almost hear it click back into place. And then you can start again. It doesn't matter if it accidentally falls out. Oh, I need my little gush pad. That's not going to work without it. I can tell you that right now. Doesn't matter if it comes out. You could cut a whole bunch of these in your craft room and then just take your stylus and your die and your gush pad out to your TV tray in front of in your family room, and then just do this part while you're watching TV. If you don't want to bring your die cut machine out, absolutely. Because the die is, the little die cut's going to click it right back into place. And I can just start again. And it makes such a beautiful element, so graceful and elegant. And that's, I think, one of the things that I loved most about Pergamano was just the sheer beauty of it. And then I appreciated the work that went into it. That's when I knew it was not, some things are not for me, but this totally works for me. What do you think? I hope you like it, because it definitely is a different type of concept. It's something that I don't know that anybody else has really done, but maybe they have, but I haven't seen it. But I wanted something lovely. I wanted something pretty. I wanted something elegant and graceful and soft and sweet, so that you could use in many different ways, that you could use with the coordinations paper, where you can choose to just sand it, die cut and sand, or that you could use as something a little bit more, a little bit extra, a little bit oomph. Can you imagine beautiful weddings and anniversaries? And oh my goodness, done with the vellum. Vellum is always so very, very lovely. And then you take, I know I'm going to put everything in the wrong place. You take Stacey Tape. And Stacey Tape is has a white or a clear base to it. The tape itself, let's see if I can pull it off. The tape itself is not yellowed. You may find some comparable tape. It's excellent tape. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's got more of a yellowy look than ours does. Ours is more clear. And what that allows you to do is use it with vellum. It's always sometimes so hard to find something that isn't going to show all the way through. Now I'm going to put a little bit of Stacey Tape right here. That chip is going to bother me, but I'm not redoing it. Put a little bit of Stacey Tape down below. Peel off. Peel off. And you will, it's always hard to find something that's going to work beautifully for vellum. But you will have an easier time with Stacey Tape. It does tend to disappear a little bit better than the norm, than the vellum dots that are out there that can be difficult to use and a little expensive. So a little bit of Stacey Tape on your vellum, especially if you're embossing it or doing the stylus, then it's really going to hide well. And it's a great way to adhere your vellum to your paper. A little bit of Stacey Tape. Peel it up, stick it down. And for most people, they are never going to notice. So here you can see where I was using the stylus and doing the embossing just with an inexpensive, under $3 stylus. $1.99 gush mat, because it's actually twice the size. We cut it in half. The vellum, which is relatively inexpensive, you get several sheets for under $10, and whatever dies. And it doesn't have to be my dies. If these are not speaking to you, I understand that. But do you have other dies that have embossing features? I know a lot of my dies do. If they have embossing features, and how do you know if it has an embossing feature? If there's no cut line around the design. See how all of these little boxes, these little lattice work have cut, they have a ridge around them. That means that they're going to fall out. But can you see how the flowers on the corners have no ridges around them? That means you can emboss it, or you can use your stylus to do a Pergamano look. You're looking for dies that don't have cut lines around each and everything. See how there's no cut lines around here? That means you can use it with your stylus and some vellum, or your coordinations paper, and sand it. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna play with the contour die. Please keep in mind that the contour die is not sold with the I Want It All set. So the I Want It All set consists of 6 sets of dies, and it's $59.99. If you buy them individually, as opposed to being $10 a set, they go up to $13 a set. The contour die is always sold separately, and it is always $15.99, but you get both, and they're just beautiful. I'm gonna play with this one for just a minute. And this time I'm gonna play with some colored vellum. Absolutely gorgeous colored vellum. Isn't that beautiful? Again, it's heavy weight. It is the same weight as the other vellum that I was using. Now, colored vellum reacts a little bit differently. It does not work well with a stylus. It does not give you this look, but it does give you a beautiful, beautiful embossed look. And normally we would do this on an edge of a card, and this would then become the edge of the card. And I have samples, but I do want to show you what it looks like when you emboss it with your squishy and your knock-knock. So this is definitely an intricate die. Can you see all of that? Those are very definitely intricate. And can you see that the ridges just go around the outside of the flower, not the inside? That's what's going to get embossed. So I am going to bring my multi-purpose platform back over. I am going to bring my precision base plate back over. I'm going to put it at an angle. I'm going to cut those edges off. And my yucky platform, because I'm on a precision base plate, my yucky clear plate, and I'm going to send it on through. So there goes one. I'm going to want to don't move. Let's see if I can get it to rotate. Hopefully I got it back into place. Time will tell. Send it back through. Now you may be asking, can you use your magnetic platform with your precision base plate? Well, you're not supposed to, and there really isn't much benefit to it, because the precision base plate going on top of the magnetic platform eliminates your die being able to be magnetized down to the magnetic platform. Oh yay. Okay. So this is what I've got. Kind of blah, but I'm going to put it back in, and I'm going to emboss it. And luckily, the die cuts kind of click back into place. So if they pop out, it's okay, don't worry. I don't need my precision platform anymore, but I do need my squishy and my knock-knock. So I don't need to cut it anymore, I need to emboss it. So I need to open to tab 1. I always want to say tab 2, but it's not. I'm going to put my do not cut plate down. I'm going to put my die with my die cut down. Just kind of put it right back into place. Line it right back up. I'm going to grab my squishy, put my squishy right down over the top of it, and then my knock-knock. And again, you need to see that squishy coming out the back end. That's really important. You know you're doing it right if the squishy comes out the back end. And I understand that sounds horrible, but you'll remember it. See how my squishy is growing? Before we're done, this tab that says number 1, you're not going to be able to see it anymore because the squishy is going to be so long that it's going to cover it right up. Then you know you're doing it right if the squishy comes out the back end. Oh, but I rotate. Oh, Stacey, it moved. It moved. So it cut again. All right, let's try one more time. Darn it. Let's grab another piece of paper. Let's get my precision base plate. Maybe I will just send it through one time on the precision base plate. Let's kind of twist it a little bit. Or you know, I wonder, because it's just adding the X's. I wonder, let's try it without the precision base plate at all and let's see what happens. The worst that can happen is that we get the same result that we got before, which wasn't all that great. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my do not cut plate. I'm gonna put my die face up. I'm gonna put the pretty side of my vellum face down and my cut plate on top of that, and I'm gonna send it on through. See, that's how you know that these are not edited or scripted. No editing to my videos, it is what it is. Oh, it looks like it cut. Okay. Yeah, it cut. Wonderful. So it's cut. So now I'm going to slide that back through. I'm going to open it up to my tab 1. I'm going to put my do not cut plate down. I'm going to lay this back down again. I'm going to put my squishy over the top. And my knock knock. And I'm going to send it on through. And the squishy is going to come out the back end with any luck. Oh, I still cut it, but that's okay. Let me snip it here and snip it there. Yep, I did. I still moved it. Maybe some Post-it notes to hold it in place might be a good idea. But I do want to show you what it looks like when it's embossed, because it really is oh so pretty. Can you see? Darn it. My A-type personality is saying do it again, but my understanding of time is saying not so much. But my A-type personality is saying, oh, Stacey, just do it one more time. But no, I understand. Let's see. Hopefully I can maybe add a little bit of tape just so I can hold it up for you, because I really want you to see this. But now you know not everything was so perfect and oh, there we go. Okay, like it never even happened. Poof! Bam, it's fixed. I just want you to see how beautiful it is when they're embossed. Just beautiful. And of course I could do the same thing, taking a piece of Coordinations paper. And again, we normally do this on the edge of a card, but I want to show you that it doesn't always have to be on the edge of a card. I think I'm going to go ahead and not use the precision base plate because it seemed to cut just fine. My do not cut plate, my die, my paper down against my die. Oh, I can't tell which side I like better. Texture, no texture. My cut plate over the top. Roll it through. Oh, it looks pretty good. Take this right off, set it aside, open to tab 1. It will show you that you want to do an embossing. Lay this right back on top. Grab your squishy. Grab your knock knock and send it through. Snip. Oh, I love it so much. Yay! My husband was saying, nice recovery. Just trim that right on down. Then I could add this to the edge of a card. And this is what it looks like right now. But take my sand it gadget. And a little bit of sanding. And all of a sudden I have got flower petals popping up everywhere. Everywhere where it's embossed and it's raised, the sandpaper is hitting it and giving me that beautiful look. Glitter cleanup cloth. Just wipe everything on down. How's that? Is that gorgeous? Love, love, love. All right, so we did the cute little girl, my lady in lace, where we did just this. We just die cut her and embossed her and then sanded her. We played with the Pergamano aspect of the die and taking heavyweight vellum and a simple stylus that you may already own and didn't know why you bought it, but now you're so glad you have it. And if you don't, they're under $3. And went in there and pulled the detail out by using vellum and a stylus and a gush pad to make that lacy look happen. And then we played with, oh, look at what I found over here. I have this one done. I embossed this one. We have colored vellum with the embossing. Just so elegant and so very, very pretty. All right, I think it's time for me to show you the dies, and then I'm going to show you the samples because the girls did a beautiful job. And I have to give a special shout out to Elena because she did even more than she normally does. And my lowly little over here, but it made it through. You get the idea. All right, so to begin with, we have the ruby red glitter cutting pads by Sizzix for Scrapbooking Made Simple, only found here, only place you're gonna get them, and they're ruby red glitter, which is part of our signature color. I mean, obviously, I like red, my gush pad is red, the color on my tweezers is red, the color on my scissors is red. You get the idea. So we have those in store and in online now. Then we have, let's take the first one. Then we have our Nana's Garden Tulip Terrace and Lady in Lace, which are the two I was playing with today. Now, Elena, she used, and instead of, she used them as a mask, she used the die as a mask, and she stenciled ink in there. She was able to get in there, and she used, and where it embossed, she also inked it just by laying it right over the top and going in there and taking ink and inking in all those empty spaces, she was able to add that element. So if you don't want to sand and you've got lots of inks, not a problem. Just go right in there and you're good to go. So you've got the background, you've got the main die, you've got the cute little pieces that fall out, you've got them together, and then you've got Lady and Lace. And she did the same thing. She inked all of this. She just laid the die right on top and grabbed some ink and inked it. So this is Lady and Lace and Tulip Terrace, the two that I was using today. Then we have Lily Lattice and Woven Rose. And again, all of these can be done in the vellum as well. So you've got the background, you've got the Lily Lattice, and then you've got them together. And again, she inked them. She embossed them and inked them. Then you've got the Woven Rose. You've got the background, you've got the main die, and then you've got them together. The detail, the small lattice is just lovely. And I don't know if you can tell, but on the lattice work here, it's got little scallops on every little lattice work, and it's got the little dots that pop up. She's inked those as well. Oh my goodness gracious, because that is what Pergamano is. Very detailed and very lacy-like. So those are the next two. Then we have Bouquet Trellis and Just For You. So Bouquet Trellis is here, and it's here. 1, 2, 3. Now we left the top open for you. You can go ahead and tape it down if you don't want it open, but we've left it open for you just in case you wanted to slide a little something in there, a little tag or something. And again, she's inked all the bottoms. But that's Bouquet Trellis, and that's also one of my favorites. This was the main this was the start of the collection. This is the one I knew I had to have. And then I loved them all. And then we have the Just For You that has the butterfly and the flowers and the beautiful lattice work. So you've got the background, which has got a scallop to it. You've got the main die, which is scalloped, and then the two of them together. That makes up the 6. So if you're looking at the I Want It All, these 6 dies make up the I Want It All collection. So these are the 6 that you would get for $59.99, and if you just like 1 or 2, then they're $13.99 each. Then we have the contour. And this is what we typically do with them. We typically use them on the edge of a card, or we make a gatefold card. How beautiful are these? I love my roses. So Elena has done all of these for you. And this is the contour die. So yes, you get both of them for the $15.99, absolutely. And they are meant to be colored and sanded and used the stylist and made with vellum. Just beautiful. This is the contour die. And this is the die that tends to sell out first, with the exception of our must-haves. This month it is squares. So you get all of the squares. They will fit through your big shop machine. You get the stitched edging to go with the squares, but you also get dot edging to go with the squares, and you get crosshatch edgings to go with the squares. All of it interchanges. And then I had extra room, so I gave you a couple tags and some photo corners, and you'll see these in the samples that the girls have made. All of this, so you've got 34 dies in this set for $29.99. So you can have plain squares, you can have hashed squares, you can have dotted squares. It's amazing what you can do. And Elena, oh, I just dropped one. Elena has always put together, let's see if I can get it on over here. Elena has always put together the most wonderful assortment of samples. So let's see. You can do just squares as frames. You can do all the different size squares with the stitched edge. You can do just plain squares. You can do squares with the cross hatches. You can use all the different square cross hatch and dots to make patterns inside. It's all there for you. And then we included the photo corners and all the different tags because we could. And the photo corners all have different, they've got little dotty edges or little hash mark edges. So these are the squares, the next in the collection, which means we have done ovals, rectangles, circles, and now squares. Next month will be a kaleidoscope die that comes out for Simply Defined. But between the contour and the must-haves, these sell out faster than anything else because really, once you have this, you have all that you need because we're not asking you to buy just stitched or just dotted or just cross-hatched. You can mix and match all of these together in one set. And that's why we call it a must-haves, because I really do think that it's a must-have, especially if you're on a budget. It gets you so much for your money that you can be playing and playing and playing and just making so much. All right, so that's all the product. And then of course we have the vellums. We've got the different vellums that will be on sale for you. But I want to show you the samples. And I'm going to start with Claire. So here's Claire using the contour edge. Beautiful, isn't it? And here's Claire now embossing and coloring with the contour edge. Here she's done the vellum and she's colored in. With the lilies. And here she's done a contour edge with the roses. This is all Claire. Here's another with the lilies, where she's embossed it and just added a lovely little tad bit of yellow to those lilies. Isn't that a beautiful? That would make a lovely with sympathy card or an Easter card, or I mean, this is just a lovely card and very simple to do. And then I love this one, Claire. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. Where she's colored, she's used the die as a stencil after she's done die cutting it. I just love this one. It's absolutely beautiful. This is Claire, and then she did a layout. Claire. And she's used the little flowers. She's used all the little flowers from Lady and Lace to decorate. Those are precious. And she used the must-haves squares to die cut out all of her. So you can see you've got a stitched edge, you've got a hash mark edge, you've got a dotty edge. She's used all of the different squares. Look at how many times she's utilized the squares. She made the entire background out of nothing but squares. She even used them as with texture paste and masked them. She just did a beautiful job. Oh, Claire, this is magnificent. They're all from the must-haves, all of the squares, all the way around. So this is her 12 by 12 layout. Next we have Sharon. Sharon was on vacation, so I'm even surprised she got one done. But here you go from Sharon, just for you. And yes, the sentiment is on one of the sets. There's Sharon. Thanks for the effort, Sharon. I'm surprised you even got one of them done. Then we have Michelle, who did the Pergamano effect using the vellum. So she used the vellum and then the stylus to get that whole look. Easy peasy Pergamano. Shh, nobody has to know. Oh, I want to make sure that, yes, okay. Yes. Okay, I wanted to make sure they went together. And she used my foam to pop it. Beautiful, isn't it? You've got the little birdie over here and you've got the lattice and the lilies. This is Michelle. Then we go to Yvette. And here is the Just For You set. It has the butterfly, it has the Just For You, it has the scallop, it has all of that detail. And then she backed it with clearly glitter. This is Yvette. And her perfect little bows. And then this is Yvette. And of course Yvette used the must-have ovals on this one to get all of her oval shapes. And then she also used the vellum. How beautiful is that? And this is Yvette. Then we have Doris. I always have to make sure I look in Doris's. So we've got Doris's beautiful lilies and all the lattice work and the pearls. And then we'll open it up and there's a thank you inside. And she's popped it with my foam and I love the little pearls. And she just sanded it. This is just a simple die cut sanded. This is Doris. Then she put the Just For You. She took 2 dies. Instead of running this one this way like I've been showing it, she did it this way and added the Just For You. And again, she took the Coordinations paper and she sanded it and she matted everything. And it's a lovely card. And then, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, okay, there was nothing inside. Whew. Nothing here either. Then we have a masterpiece where, oh, she's used watercolors. It looks like she might have used Daniel Smith to go in there and paint a background. She just watercolored a background and then die cut over in white and went in and added a little color to her lilies. But this truly is a masterpiece. Beautiful card. Very simple to do. This is Doris. And then last from Doris, we have a layout from her. And she again has also used all of the must-have squares to do this. All of this was done with the must-have squares. This is darling. And then she got the tags in there too. Oh, Doris, you make my heart happy. Thank you so much. This is her daughter, Katie. Katie's now out of college and has a full-time job. Congratulations, Katie. But she's used the must-have squares to make her 12 by 12 layout. Then we have, let's do Elena, because Elena did a rock star job. Here Elena has used the Just For You. She's used the contour edge. She has used it with vellum. She has used the stylus tool with it. Beautiful card. Then remember how I said Elena made a beautiful bouquet? Look at her. She did her in vellum and then backed her on pattern paper. She used my foam to die cut out to pop her, and then she used all of the extra flowers that you get in that set to make a beautiful little flower bouquet. This just is perfection. It just is. It's beautiful. It reminds me of dresses when I was growing up. So very pretty. This is Elena. When she brought that into me and showed me, I just stopped in my tracks. Here you have Just For You. Again, with the lovely, all the lattice work and the scallop and the butterfly. This is Elena. She really went to town, let me tell you. Then she did another Pergamano style like I was doing earlier, and she also did it vertically and added the Just For You in the center. And she used the stylus to get all of that detail, and she backed it on a simple pattern paper. This is Elena. Then she did one with the roses. Just For You. All these little squares have to fall out just so. That's why you need the precision base plate. And then she did another one. She did so many. God bless her pea pickin' heart. With the lattice and the lilies and the Just For You that she cut with the tag inside of. This is part of the tag. This is part of the tag. She's popped it on my foam. She used the stylus. She just did it all. And then last but not least, she did a beautiful contour edge using the vellum and the stylus to give you this look. It's easy to do. You just need a stylus and a gush pad and some heavyweight vellum. That's it. Think of all the things you can do. So that is, oh, one last, that's Elena. She also did the pillow box. Remember how I was telling you can slip things in and out of this one? Or you can just tape it straight down and have it closed. It's up to you. Which do you want to do? And she used my tag. That's my tag. My die makes that shape tag. Just slips right in. So there's Elena. Then we have Belinda. And Belinda has done a couple mixed media pieces. First off, she has done Nana's Garden. And this is my die, only she didn't die cut it. She die cut the frame of the girl, of my lady in lace. She die cut the frame out of vellum, but then she made her own stamp. She took my double-sided foam. She put plastic onto one side. So she peeled off the double-sided foam, put plastic on the one side, peeled off the top, and put fun foam over the top, and then she die cut. And this made this stamp right there that she did with Versamark, and then she embossed it. I know, there'll be a technique. I know everybody's gonna ask me to show you how to do that, and I will. I'll show you how to do that. But she rock starred it. Can you imagine taking all of your dies and making stamps out of them? So this is Belinda's Nana's Garden. And I just love how she utilized the die into a stamp. And then it wouldn't be Belinda if we didn't have a little bit going on. We've got the bats in the background. We've got my contour die with the roses over here. You've got my lady in lace who has now been transformed. It wouldn't be Belinda. She's pretty fabulous, isn't she? She's used my flowers over here. It's amazing how she sees things. That is why it is so wonderful to have so many of the SMS girls so talented to give so many different looks. Last we have Kathy. And Kathy has made a gorgeous card using my rose. It's just beautiful. She's used the squares to do the stitching around. She's done this out of felt. She did this all out of glitter. But she used the squares and the stitched edge. And this is Kathy. She did a beautiful job. And then her layout, where again, square after square after square after square after square after square. She utilized my lovely little lady in lace down below who's in Nana's Garden. God bless you, Kathy. And my flowers. Most of the time, I do not see the samples until you see the samples. I don't want to look at them. I want to be just as surprised as you are. Every now and then they'll be so enamored with one that they have to show me, and I agree. This is just beautiful, and it truly is Nana's garden. Last but not least is me. Now, when I have to QC my dies, I try to actually do something with them to make sure that they're going to work. So these are my QC samples. I didn't actually make anything with them, but I wanted to be sure that they do what they're supposed to do. So this is me making sure that the dies that you buy from me that are under my brand are just as fabulous as they're supposed to be. So I try to put them together and make sure, think kind of how you would think. How would you do this? Does that look pretty? Is it what I wanted? Is it what you want? I love this die, and the Just For You fits right there. I love this die. Every now and then I'll get ambitious and I'll actually finish what I'm doing. These are ones that I did as I was quality controlling the dies to make sure. And how do you know they're me? Because look, there's that big old piece of Stacey tape just because I need to get it down just to make sure it works. These are done by me during quality control. And like I said, every now and then I get ambitious and I actually kind of finish one. Meant like that, or like that, or like that. Not exactly sure how I wanted it to go when I was matting it, but you get the gist. And my poor little guy got his little antenna through all my quality controlling. Is toast. But there. These are by me. All right, you guys. I'm going to tilt on up. I'm going to say, holy smokes, that was long. I'm going to zoom on back. I'm going to say, okay, where are you going to find all of these great products? Easy. You're going to find them at scrapbookingmadesimple.com, or you're going to come into our retail store. But these are only going to be up for this week. Come Friday, the opening day of the Shop That Did Not Hop in the Sizzix and Tonic and Kaisercraft and Ducraft's warehouse sale. They're going to come down until after the event, and then they'll be back up. So if you love them, thank you very much. If you liked them, I'm glad you liked them. If you said, oh no, this is so not me, I understand. Not everything can be for everybody, but thank you for staying with me and watching the whole thing. I so appreciate it. Sale starts July 21st. Don't forget to watch the YouTube on the terms and conditions of the show. I will be the Wicked Witch of the West, and I tested the other day and I made sure I'm not allergic to the green makeup. Hopefully after 17 days it will actually not stain me green, but hey, who knows? It's always a ride here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. You never know what's gonna happen. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you. Well, I won't be doing a YouTube for a few weeks, but I'll be doing daily posts from live from the Shop That Didn't Hop as Wicked Witch of the West. So the next time you see me, I will be Wicked Witch of the West. I'll get you, my pretty, and that dog of yours too. Oh, I cannot wait. Fly, my pretties, fly. Goodbye, everybody.